Hi guys. So for writing today, we are talking about some of the things that you guys added to my anchor chart from yesterday. So I had started this anchor chart of informational text noticings. That means the things that I noticed or saw when I looked through some of those books, right? Some of those books that are teaching books that are telling me about something, right? And you looked at a whole bunch of books on Epic and you added some things to my list, right? So I only put the green things. All this pink stuff, and even going down, look at all that, is stuff that I saw that you guys added from Seesaw. Okay, now if you haven't done your Seesaw assignment for this yet, then your idea might not be added on here yet. It's about 3 o'clock on Wednesday, so I waited as long as I could, but I wanted to get this video done. So if your idea is not up here, I'm sorry, I'll add it after I see your Seesaw post. But, okay, some things Mrs. Kimmel noticed about informational text books is that some of them have a lead to get the book going. A lot of them have photographs. A lot of them have colored or bold words. And some of them have a closing. And you guys said so many awesome things. I was super impressed. So let's talk about what some of you guys say. So this one right here says, did you know? And it has a question mark. Because some books have like a did you know section. It might be like a little, like a bubble somewhere, like a circle. Kind of like these, like on mine they're called fast facts. So hers might be called Did You Know? I think it was Ellis who said that one. So it had like a bubble and it said, Did you know? So it's just a spot to give you extra information in an informational text. So she noticed that, all right? Somebody else said that most of these books have facts. And a fact is something that is true that they're teaching you or telling you about a topic, right? So yeah, they all have facts. A lot of them have descriptions. So within those facts, they're telling you details about something. Like in my polar bear book, they're describing his fur, they're describing his feet, they're describing where he lives. Yes, lots of descriptions. There are charts in these books. Yes, there's even a chart in my book. Let me see if I can find it. A chart is something that organizes information, usually like numbers. There's mine. It's a chart about the polar bear's size. So yes, there are charts a lot in these types of books. Somebody also said maps. And there's also a map in my polar bear book right here. Yes, they often have maps. Good job. Okay, somebody said an index. Yes, I don't know if this one has an index. No, but an index is at the back of the book. It can be in the same spot as a glossary, but the index just tells you the page numbers that things are on, okay? Like if you're looking for the word polar bear, you could look it up and it would tell you which pages the word polar bear is on. Or if you wanted to know like seals, because they eat seals, you could look it up in the index and it would tell you what page you can find information about the seals on, all right? So that's an index. Captions. Yes, I'm so glad you guys are using those big words. So a caption is just words underneath a picture, all right? This is not a caption, this is like a fast fact, right? That's like a special bubble. But this is a caption, right underneath or even part of the picture. Somebody said chapters. Yes, there are often chapters in books. Mine is full of chapters. See chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, right? And because there are chapters or sections, you'll need a table of contents, which is what this whole thing is. Telling me that chapter 1 starts on page 4, and that chapter 2 starts on page 10, and that chapter 3 starts on page 14. So yes, a lot of books have a table of contents. Teaching bubbles. I think a teaching bubble is probably a lot like my fast facts, right? Giving me more information. A glossary, I kind of just showed you my glossary. It's in the back where the index also is, but the glossary tells you what those bold or colored words meant in the story, right? So let's look here. Let me find a bold word. Here's one. The bold word is shelter. Shelter. So I can go in my glossary, and this goes in A, B, C order, and there's the word shelter. It tells me how to pronounce it if I don't know how to read it. And then it tells me what a shelter is. A shelter is a place to keep covered during bad weather, is what a shelter is. So yes, there's a glossary to teach you about what some of those tricky words might mean. Labels. I love that people talked about labels. Labels will point to something specific to tell you what it is. Like these are kind of like captions, but also kind of like labels, because there's one on each picture, right? Like this is labeling that this is a basketball. This is labeling that this is the bottom of his foot. This is a label to tell you this is the top of the foot, right? Labels could also point directly to something. If you have like little arrows, which somebody else said, arrows, yes. I love that somebody said close-ups. Like here's a close-up. Here they're talking about the polar bear on the ice, right? But here's a close-up of what his footprints look like. So we can't tell that, excuse me, from here, but they zoomed up right here to show you a close-up, yes. I had a lot of people talk about page numbers, yes. Page numbers are on the bottom of these informational textbooks. And headings. So somebody said chapters, but there's also headings. That's these big words at the beginning of each new section that tell us what it's going to be about, right? That's called a heading. Sometimes they can be different colors too. And somebody said speech bubbles. There might be speech bubbles, but there aren't going to be characters talking because there aren't characters in informational textbooks. But there might be bubbles like this, okay? Or maybe the animal, they're pretending that the animal's telling you a fact. So, whew, you guys had so many great noticings. This is fantastic. So, Mrs. Kimball is going to keep this chart over here, on this side over here. This is where I keep all our writing posters, because we're going to come back to this later, okay? So I'm going to move this off to the side. Whoops, I don't want to rip it. Well, I kind of ripped it, but not too bad. All right, I'm going to put it up here. There it is. All right, now, what are we going to talk about next? Well, I need my markers. I thought I was ready. Sorry. Okay, so all these books that you guys looked at that had all that information, where did they know about all that stuff? Like, why did they decide to write about that topic? Like if you read about plants or gardens or space or coding video games, those were some of the topics you guys read about. Or even my polar bear book. Why did they pick those? Well, they picked them for one of two reasons. It could be because they know a lot about that topic. They know a lot about it, so they want to tell other people about it. They want to share what they know with other people, okay? The other reason could be that they want to learn about that topic. And if they want to learn about that topic, they probably had to do some research first to learn about it, and then they could write about it. So you are going to fill this in on your own. You are going to fill it in with things that you already know a lot about. Something that you know so much about that you could write a book kind of like this, with maybe all those things, like bold words and diagrams and fun facts. Something that you know so much about that you could tell us all about it. And I want you to list as many things as you can, at least 3. So Mrs. Kimball's going to do this first. I'm going to list things that I know. So this is my poster, okay? You're going to do one on Seesaw, but this is mine, okay? I'm just showing you what to do. You're going to make your own, okay? And we're going to keep it so you can look back at it later. Okay, so some things that I know a lot about. Well, Mrs. Kimball knows a lot about swimming. I know a lot about swimming because I used to be a swim instructor. I used to teach kids how to swim for swimming lessons. I know a lot about teaching. Okay, I could write a book about that. I know a lot about books. Mrs. Kimball reads a lot of books. Mrs. Kimball knows a lot about books. Mrs. Kimmel also knows a lot about cooking. I really like cooking, and sometimes I'm good at it, sometimes I'm not, but I know a lot about it. So I even know how to fix mistakes. I also know a lot about, let me think about maybe some places that I go. I know a lot about the lake. So we have a lake house at Pomme de Terre Lake. So I could tell people all about that lake because that's a place that I go all the time. So I could tell somebody all about it. Okay? You know, I live in Kearney. So I know a lot about Kearney. I could tell people all about this town, right? What there is here, you know, why it's a great place to live. I could tell all about that. You know what I'm also a really good expert at now is being a virtual teacher. And Mrs. Kimmel did not know how to do that, but now I do. So I can teach other people how to be a virtual teacher. These are things that I know a lot about. So much about it that I could write a book about it. Okay, you're going to come up with at least 3 things that you know a lot about, and you're going to add that to your side of your chart on Seesaw. Because you're going to be picking one of these topics, and you're going to end up writing a book about it. So you make sure it's something you know a lot about. Now on this side, we're going to think about some things that we don't know a lot about. Maybe we know a little bit about it, but not a lot, but we want to learn about it. Okay, we want to know more about it. So let's see. I would like to learn more about, well, see, I'm trying to plan a vacation. So I want to learn more about beaches in North Carolina. So that's something super special to me, right? Like, I'm going to want to research about it because it's somewhere that I want to go, okay? So you better think of things that you want to learn about it. Like if you have a new puppy, maybe you want to write about, you want to learn how to teach a dog tricks or something. That would be good, and it would apply to you. Or if you got a new toy for Christmas, maybe you want to know how to use it or how to do something special with it, like ride a hoverboard or something. What else could I want to learn about? I would like to learn how to play the piano. Eldon could teach me that. I would like to learn how to play the piano. I don't know very much about certain animals, so maybe I could pick an animal I would like to learn more about. Let me think. I'd kind of like to know more about copperhead snakes because you can find them around my lake house, but I don't know very much about them, and I'd kind of like to know about them so I know how to stay away from them. And that also makes me think about armadillos. I see those around my lake house too, and I don't know very much about them. I learned the other day that they actually have fur on them, which is weird. So I would like to learn more about them. What else would I like to learn more about? I think that's all I can think about now, but I'll keep coming back because I thought about animals, I thought about a place, I thought about something I want to learn how to do. Maybe you might want to learn about space or about like mummies or Egyptians, or maybe you want to learn about Minecraft. That's something. You guys always talk about Minecraft. I don't know enough about that. I could research and learn about Minecraft. That'd be kind of fun because then I would be able to talk to you guys about it more. I'm going to keep thinking. So you come up with at least 3 things that you know a lot about, that you're an expert on, so much so that you could write a book like this about. And come up with 3 things that you're not an expert on that you want to learn more about. Okay? Animals would be a good place to start. Places would be a good place to start, just because they'd be easy to research. Okay? So maybe come up with at least 1 animal, 1 place, 1 person maybe. Maybe you want to learn about a person. Okay? Yeah, so this is what you're going to turn into me on Seesaw. All right, thank you.